the print media does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like with no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is here every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
What?
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
Wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
A pleasant good morning and welcome to Focal Online TV, where we bring you the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. If you are watching live from the diaspora, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. If you are watching from Liberia, a pleasant good morning to you, and welcome to Focal Online TV. Welcome to another daily edition of Inside the Print Media here on Focal TV. Today I am your presenter. My name is Refina Sipar, and I'm here with my co-presenter. His name is Kiel Topa is my co-presenter here on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. This morning we will kindly look at our newspaper revision. We have the Daily Observer newspapers in studio. We have the Front Page Africa newspaper. We have the New Dawn newspaper. We have the Hot Pepper newspaper and our international source. So for today, our international source is the ABC Standpoint. So we will begin with the Daily Observer newspaper. If you are watching us live, we appreciate you. Can you kindly share our live stream video and drop a comment in the comment sections? We will really, really appreciate that. So the headline reads from the Daily Observer newspaper: Liberia's fragile and divided opposition might lead to re-election of President Weah. Liberia's fragile and divided opposition might lead to re-election of President Weah. The news in details. Ahead of the presidential and legislative elections scheduled for the 10th of October, nearly 20 opposition parties are trying to topple the Coalition for Democratic Change, which has been a powerful opposition almost without interruption for 12 years during Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf presidency, and has been the ruling party for the past 5+ years. The Liberia people were hoping for a united opposition. The same united opposition under the Collaborating Political Parties (CPP) that facilitated the landslide victory of Darius Dillon into the Liberian Senate. Regrettably, the fractured, backfiring main opposition parties, the Unity Party (UP) and the Alternative National Congress (ANC), failed to put up a viable united candidate for the presidency, thus leaving some Liberians to conclude that the opposition parties are hopeless now heading into October general elections. Less than 2 months heading into the general election, the opposition appeared to be inaudible while the president is effectively and wisely going after what he wants. If campaigns are often the main way to interact with the Liberian people to effectively get a political party's message out to the voters, then President George M. Weah and the CDC are doing an excellent job. While some members of the opposition are grumbling, while a sitting president is campaigning more than the entire opposition and posting out so many billboards. This is political campaign 101 and certainly not a sign of failure. This is how we move over to another headline under the Daily Observer newspaper. Swedish embassy denies bribing Liberian senators to legalize abortion. Swedish embassy denies bribing Liberian senators to legalize abortion. The Swedish embassy is denying that it bribed Liberian senators to pass an amendment to the country's public health law that will legalize abortion, which remains prohibited except in extreme cases. The Swedish denial comes as it remains one of the leading donors to Amplifying Rights Network, a pro-abortion group that is spearheading the campaign for the legalization of abortion in Liberia. But religious groups, including the Inter-Religious Council, disagree and claim that the Swedish government's support for the Amplifying Rights Network is a direct attack on Liberia's deeply rooted culture and religious values. The embassy clarification comes just as Bishop Kotu Brown, a leading figure in the anti abortion movement, claimed that the religious community has estimated that the legalization of abortion will lead to the death of 40,000 babies every single year. This is a conservative estimate. As a result, and as the actual number could be much higher than the bill when it is legalized, as it will allow abortion on demand. This is how we turn over to Kaylin Topa, who will fill us in on the Front Page Africa newspaper.
Thanks to Greg Finance, for such a beautiful reading this morning. Front Page Africa newspaper. Liberians will not be intimidated by drums of war, say President Weah as Kukatana celebrates 20 years of peace in Liberia. President George Manuel Weah has reiterated his unwavering determinations and commitment to ensure a free, fair, transparent, and violence-free elections on October 10th. President George Weah spoke over the weekend at the Ministerial Complex in Monroe during the program at the Kukatan 2023 Peace Festival commemorating 20 years of peace in Liberia. This event marks August 8, 2023 Accra Comprehensive Peace Accord on Liberia, which ended the 14 years of civil conflict in Liberia. He said instead of opposition political parties sitting in their corners and trying to gain sympathy from the Liberian people through scare tactics, they should get up and vigorously campaign as he is doing. The Liberian leader's statement came as an apparent response to an earlier comment made during the program by River G County Senator Common Wissett, who stated the elections the election we are having, the election that we are going through is not about one round. If you are so anxious for one round, you will cause violence. Let's try to have peaceful elections. Let's ensure that it is fair and let's make sure it's something we can all live with. I think Liberia just won free and fair elections. So this brings us to the close of Front Page Africa newspaper. Back with Grafina for the continuations of local news from this network.
So we will proceed with a New Dawn newspaper, and right after which we will have to take our short break to bring you our international news. After Kilino Topa will bring you information from the Hot Pepper newspaper. The New Dawn newspaper headline reads, Three die in motor accident. The news details. Doctors have announced and doctors have pronounced three persons dead following a tragic motor accident at the New Iron Gate in Bangor, Bon County. Additional three victims who were in the same vehicle are in very critical condition and have been transferred to the state-owned John F. Kennedy Medical Center in Monrovia. The tragic accident occurred Tuesday, 22 August 2023, involving young women who were said to be heading for a political campaign tour in favor of incumbent President George Manawia's second term bid. Bond County Assistant Commissioner of Police Fasu Sheriff quoted eyewitnesses as saying that the yellow taxi with plate number unidentified was coming from Monrovia when it shockingly ran into a truck that had already parked or that had already been parked up from the opposition direction few meters away from the checkpoint. The situation has raised serious concerns, with some citizens blaming the traffic police for not properly performing their responsibilities. However, Assistant Commissioner of Police Fasu Sharif has denied the citizen claim and blamed drivers for overspeeding. Following Tuesday accident, a press release emerged from a political group alleging six deaths from the incident concerned. The group Dupe, the George Wayne 2023 Accelerate, said it mourns with the girls of Ria for the death of six of its militants in a tragic motor accident while en route to Bone County on campaign purpose. This is how we move over to another headline under the New Down newspaper. Kun Dobbs Boaka's health. Kun Dobbs Boaka health in 2021 interview. Liberia opposition leader Ambassador Joseph Juman Boaga, running mate to Senator Jeremiah Cohen in 2021, opposed the former vice president's 2023 presidential bid, citing possible mental and physical decline. The Nimba senator appeared as a guest on local broadcaster OKFM Wednesday, 15 September 2021 edition of the OK Conversation and explained why he supported Boaka's 2017 presidential bid but not his 2023 quest. Kuhn indicated that he thought Ambassador Boaka would be president in 2017 and serve one term due to the former vice president's promise. I agree with him. 2023. No, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest. Find somebody else. Kuhn said on 15 September 2021. More than a year before Waka picked him on 28 May 2023 as running mate. In that live conversation on OKFM in 2021, Mr. Kuhn explained that he supported Ambassador Joseph Mambuaka, knowing that by 2023 he will be retired. Here, Lyndon Tokpa is being turned over to you for our news as it relates to Hot Pepper newspaper.
All right, thank you, Griffin and Pat, for such a beautiful coordination. Hot Pepper newspaper. Government begins recruitment of 1,000 at-risk youth for rehabilitation. Government begins recruitment of 1,000 at-risk youth for rehabilitation. The government of Liberia, through the National Steering Committee for the at-risk youth program, has commenced voluntary recruitment of about 1,000 at-risk youth for rehabilitation. At the start of the recruitment, Minister Zoga Wilson, who is the national chairman for the steering committee, say the move is in fulfillment of the government's commitment. Minister Wilson described the start of the at-risk youth program as boost intended to reunite the young people and make them productive citizens. He extended thanks and appreciation to President George Manawia and the UN for their support towards the at-risk youth program. Meanwhile, some of the at-risk youth expressed delight over the government far-sightedness. They recounted their willingness to get rehabilitated in order to be useful citizens, in order to help with the development of the country. In June 2020, the government launched the at-risk youth program intended to take Liberian children who are addicted to drugs off the street. We move on to another headlines and news in detail subsequently. President Weah's continuous 2023 campaign tour bombing turns out in mass. The president of the Republic of Liberia and standard bearer of the Coalition for Democratic Change, George Manneh Weah, has completed his Montserrat County tour, visiting all of the 17 electoral districts and pushing his agenda for re-elections. During this tour, the president weaved massive turnout, with the people renewing their assurances to re-electing him for a second term at the October 10, 2023 polls. On Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023, President Weah and his entourage embarked on the nationwide campaign tour for 2023, which is expected to center around evaluating development projects, interacting with the residents, and securing a deal for a second term. The tour continues in Bonny County, the first stopping point, received and greeted the entourage with a show of enthusiasm. Lord mind-blowing traditional endorsement at Pool River Bridge, J1 District, the president entourage was received by a group of traditional elders, women, and energized youth who sang and danced to the coming of the president to their county. So this brings us to the close of the Hot Pepper newspaper. Back to Grafina for the presentation of local news and that of international news on this platform.
Thanks to you, Lyndon. So while we will take a short break, when we get back, we proceed with our international news. But before then, we have our viewers who are watching us live from Liberia and that of the diaspora, Daniel Basil Boy Johnson. CDC promotion site. This will not help you guys. Via is a one term. I thought this place was a good platform, but better discussion, not knowing that it is for the promotion of field Via. So this is just a disclaimer from our newsroom that we are Focal Online TV. We are located within the Topo Village community, and all we do here at Focal Online TV is we bring innovation to broadcasting. So sometimes we will have these comments coming in our comment section. We are media practitioners. We preach the message of peace, and we are not in favor of any political parties. All we do here is we present what our news unfold from the different newspapers. So you coming up and saying, Daniel Basketball Johnson, that we are promoting President George Manneh Weah is a failed accusation and it's false, and we don't want to base an argument on that. If you have issues with the news that was presented from the Daily Observer newspaper and that of the Front Page Africa, then I believe you should go to that station and then you can do your protest or whatever you want to do there. But this is a media platform that is unique and it is distinct. All we do here is we bring innovation to broadcasting and we preach a message of peace. We preach a message that should be air out, and we do that with distinction. So we are not in favor of this political party. We are not in favor of that political party. We are media practitioners, and our duty is to inform the Liberian people of the happenings within our country, Liberia, and to say what is right. So if offended with that, we owe you no apologies. And thank you for following us this morning. At least this will keep you on the guide that we are here for the Liberian people, not for any presidential candidate. Our message here is just to preach what is right as media practitioner, not to be in favor, like you say, for one political party. And thanks to you for joining us. So to all of our viewers who are watching us from Liberia and all of the diaspora, thanks so much for watching us. Thanks for joining us. This is how we take a very short break. When we get back, we fill you in on the news from our source, that is ABC, and we will bring you our international news. Of course, it is ABC News for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll be right back shortly.
Focal TV. Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV. With check and balance, we bring it as it unfolds. Focal TV. Bringing you face-to-face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV. The best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Focal.
welcome back, folks. Welcome to the edition of Inside the Prince Media here with your presenter, Grafina Sipar, and our co-presenter, Kia Lyndon Topa. And I will run quickly with our international news here. So, our international news headlines read: student kill, 23 hurt in school bus crash on first day of elementary school in Ohio. Student kill, 23 hurt in school bus crash on first day of elementary school in Ohio. The bus had no seat belts, officials said. One student was ejected and killed, and 23 other children were hurt when a school bus overturned on the first day of school in Ohio on Tuesday, officials said. The bus had no seat belts. Tyler Ross of the Ohio State Highway Patrol told reporters. 52 students were on board at the time of the crash in Clark County, which is about 30 miles northeast of Dayton. Ross said. The school district Northwestern Local Schools said the accident involved an elementary school route. One child suffered serious injuries. Ross said 22 students have non-life-threatening injuries. The bus driver and the Honda Odyssey driver and passenger also suffered non-life-threatening injuries. According to the Ohio State Highway Patrol, the crash remains under investigation, Ross said. This is how we move over to another headline under our international source, that is ABC. Biden administration launches student loan repayment plan application. Biden administration launches new student loan repayment plan application. The news in details. The Biden administration is launching an application for a new student loan repayment plan Tuesday as part of its latest attempt to offer relief to borrowers as payment resumes despite significant political odds. This plan is a game changer for millions of Americans, many of whom are putting off having children, buying their first home, or even starting a business because they can get out from under their student loan. Student loans will be manageable, Biden domestic policy advisor Neera Tadin said. The new plan is part of the administration's continued effort to tackle student loans after it pushed to outright cancel up to 20,000 in debt for some borrowers was struck down by the Supreme Court earlier this year. This is how we close down on all of our news, both locally and internationally for today. And it's being turned over to UK Lyndon Topa for further discussion as it relates to our news headlines and details for today. So before we begin, we saw the comments in our comment section from Daniel Basil Johnson, who reacted in the comment section by saying, "This will not help you guys. We are in our own term. I thought this place was a good platform for a better discussion, knowing not knowing that it is for the promotion of field we are." So this is to just say to you again, Daniel Basil Johnson, that we are a distinct media practitioner. We are not in favor of President George Manneh Weah, neither are we in favor of ANC nor Unity Party. We are here on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media just to inform the Liberian people in the world at large on the happenings within our country and internationally. So it is not our duty if Front Page Africa put in their news about President George Manneh Weah. It is not our duty to omit that. All we have to do is to bring to you the news presentation. If there's a crucial issue to warn the citizens of Liberia, we do that. So I don't see what within our news headlines this morning that you got so glued to or you felt offended that you are saying we are here promoting George Manneh or we are here for the promotion of Phil. I don't take that and I feel it doesn't make sense to me. So next time if you come on our show and you do have nothing to say, I mean just continue scrolling if that's all you want to do, or listen and see at the end of our news, or see how we preside or how we present our news here. Instead of you just jumping up to conclusion. I mean, I don't know who you are, but it doesn't make sense for someone like you, a decent young guy like you, to do such a thing. It doesn't make sense, please. Kelly, don't talk about.
So yeah, well, we live in a country where every other thing is being overshadowed by politics, and even when people are providing, when independent media institutions are even providing or doing their job they are called to do, people try to politicize it. So the comments spay out all that was released by Daniel Bassop or whosoever is totally reckless, because if you check all of our trade or broadcast activity, we have always been independent. Even the very time Unity Party was unveiling their running mate, our media platform was available. We provided coverage when George Weah was even reaffirming his second term. We were also there. My colleague Mohammed, even when AMC. So with all of those activity, and it just demonstrates to you that our platform is entirely independent. We do not bow loyalty to any political party. So we do the job of the Liberian people. So our paramount concern is the why is to be able to inform the Liberian people every time, not to come and sit one morning and say, "Oh, we are supporting President We are." I think that comment is reckless, and I think you need to retract that statement.
That's a reckless statement
It is entirely reckless.
from killing. And so, but I mean, whenever you have a claim, or whenever you have a problem, you should be able to read between the lines. I mean, you could have just given her a break, listen to what we present here, and then before coming up with that statement. But instead, maybe from our first headline, Kelly, don't talk about. I think that was how he started saying we are promoting we are, and we tell you this for sure, all of these things are from the Daily Observer newspaper. We don't create our own stories here, especially when it relates to information of our country, Liberia. Our source on this platform, the daily edition of Inside the Print Media, is from the different newspapers. So this morning, the issue with the headline that reads, Liberia's fragile and divided opposition might lead to the re-election of President Weah. It's not from our reading room.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay,
it's not from
okay,
our reading room. This is from Daily Observer
okay.
newspaper. This is what we got from Daily Observer newspaper. This is how we present our news. This is our top headline under the Daily Observer newspaper. What do you want us to do? We should be able to read the news out to you. So there are others who are supporting President Weah, who are listening to us on this show. There are others who are supporting Ambassador Joseph Juan Boaka, who are listening to us on this show. There are others who are supporting Alexander Cummings. There are others who are just abstaining. They are not in favor of none, but they are listening to us. So if the news preside that will do this presentation from Daily Observer newspaper, should we omit it? No,
So
we
it
can't.
it can be omitted on the basis of somebody
Yeah,
personal feeling.
we can do that. We are media practitioner, and all we do here is we bring quality information, top stories. So this is a top story. I don't know whether you even get in the concept of the story, but for the fact that we mentioned President Brian,
That's
yeah, you
overwhelmed.
get so overwhelmed, you get so intimidated, and you react to the post. I mean, you are a good young man from your comments. You are a very good young man, and I'm hoping and I'm sure that you are a brilliant young man, and we expected more from you. We expected more from you, not to come up here and lash at us all because of our news presentation. Liberia fraggles and divided opposition might lead to the re-election of President Weah. It's not our writing. This is from the Daily Observer newspaper.
So yeah, but there are a lot of Liberians who still hold that particular opinion that the fact that the oppositions have been divided, there is a clear possibility. There is a clear possibility, or there could be a possibility of George Weah claiming his re-elections. You understand? Because initially, the Liberian people have had this mindset of a united opposition, and we all saw what the united opposition gave rise to us yesteryears back. When the opposition was united, we saw DeLong and clinching an overwhelming victory when the opposition was united, we saw a whole lot of things. They used to come all together, consolidate their statement, and make a clear position to the Liberian people. So with that, with that level of solidarity, the Liberians said yes, a united oppositions will be able to
Go against a
restore,
real lack of
yeah,
it. Yes.
restore the hope and aspirations of the Liberian people. You understand?
Yeah, but instead, I mean, he did not even listen to the news that this person, this writer point was, according to his source of information, was like the Liberian people expected the opposition to hold. But in turn, they divided themselves. And George Weah, if and the person mentioned that if this electoral process or this campaigning is about speaking to voters and interacting with voters, it means George Weah have done an effective work. It means George Weah have done an effective work. So I mean, this is just it. I didn't expect this comment from Daniel Bassabor, but we take that. We take that.
I know Daniel Basketball. Daniel Basketball happens to be a very staunch fanatics of the Unity Party, and you know, I don't know how the politics, the politics has been, has shifted for especially with the kind of prevailing realities in Nigeria. Whenever the year President William, they get so overwhelmed as just as somebody may have poisoned, and
They
somebody
don't
may have
even give
poisoned.
you chance.
You
They
understand?
don't even give you chance. They were
So that
just,
is not the
I
kind
mean,
of politics is not about hate.
yeah, it's
You
not about
understand?
it.
Politics is the competition of ideas.
And reading
So
between the lines.
you have to exert your energy to be able to propagate your message and to ensure that the message resonates with the people. Then
Yeah.
by the moment your message resonates with the people, the level you will see the greater extent to which your people will be able to either buy into your ideas and be able to manifest their decision at the ballot box, but not about you saying this platform is intended to promote President Weah. We are very independent. We have been very independent from time to time, and we are still independent as a media institution.
The only thing we prioritize here is the Liberian people in our
Definitely.
microphone. So we prioritize our microphone. Firstly, let me tell you why we prioritize our microphone. Daniel Marcel Johnson prioritize our microphone because it gives us the power. Our voices, along with our microphone, give us the power to inform the Liberian people. Our next priority here is the Liberian people. The reason why is because we present the information to them. So I mean, if you are so, I mean, maybe you having some issue this morning and you want to lash at us. I mean, try to find another thing to bring about in our comment section. But we're not even entertain that anymore. That you just come up and then just talk that this show is being led because of President Ria. We are promoting his field. What do you even mean? I mean, you need to stop that. So another thing here is the issue with the two. We are talking about it again.
Yeah.
So Daniel Pastor Paul Johnson will say we are biased because we are talking about it. So the issue with the two girls, that the three that died in the motor accident, I mean, it's very tragic, and it's something that we all need to pray about. It's something that we need to send out our condolences to the bereaved family, especially young people at that moment who were going to like mobilize, who were going to talk to first time voters who are going on a campaign process, and then all of a sudden lost their life at the new Iron Gate in Banga Bon County. I feel that it's something that is so terrifying, and it's something that we need as media practitioners on behalf of Focal Online TV in a daily edition of Inside the Print Media. We send out our deepest condolences to the bereaved family. It's difficult right now seeing your young child or your young daughter, I mean, being dead just in an hour that she left you and say, Mama, I'm going out of town, I'll be back. And she laughed with you, and then your friend, you guys just text in a car, and then she said, "Oh, I'm going out of town." I mean, it's a tragic moment. Let me say that, and we really, really extend our deepest condolences to you. So there are others who are in crucial state, and we hoping that critical condition. We hoping that they can be okay in a sooner date, and some of them are being transferred to the John F. Kennedy Medical Center. So this is a tragic accident, and this occurred on Tuesday. the 22nd of August and involved young women who were said to be headed for a political campaign tour in favor of incumbent President George Mani Weah's second term bid. So they were actually en route, and this information was brought from the news source of New Dawn. So we extend our deepest condolences to them. And then we are still preaching a message of peace as it relates to come October 10 presidential election. Liberia is all we have. Liberia is what we got. So, in order to protect the peace we have within our country, Liberia, we must do away with violence. Please, we have to do away with violence. There's no need to experience it. Don't even wish to experience the act of violence. It has its own side effects. The fact that you experience it or the fact that you witness it is not even a good thing. So let's not wish for that. Let's not pray for that. Let everything we do, our first focus or our major priority be centered around the peace to maintain the peace we have within our country, Liberia. So all of our aspirants, to all of those who are seeking political seats during this campaign arena, we are praying and we are telling you to please maintain the peace we have within our country, Liberia. Remember, after 6 years, you still have the opportunity to go again and run for this political seat. Do not kill the dreams and aspirations for the young people within this country, Liberia. Liberia is all we have. We are already maintaining the peace. Liberia is not perfect. We still have our lapses, but we understand that peace is important. Peace is important. Peace is essential. It's crucial. So let's protect your peace. Do not influence people. To do not influence young people to go ahead and do things that will not be okay. Do not influence young people to get involved in violence acts. Young people, do not be led by politicians to go in a violent act that will lead to the demise of your life. So take advantage, go and register. If you have not registered, that is so bad. But if your voter registration card got missing, you can go ahead and go to some of your polling station within months to rather get your voter registration card for $5 United States, and then uh, um come October 10, go and cast your vote. There's no need for you to be involved in violence act. You can chant your battle cry, you can chant with your slogans, but do it in a way that will not cause harm to another person. There's no need for slapping, there's no need for pushing, there's no need to even take a casket of our political leader, let me say, and then carrying it around. That doesn't signify peace. If we are peaceful people, let's prioritize the peace. Let's act like we have peace and we are prioritizing peace. But we shouldn't do one thing today. We shouldn't talk about peace today, Lyndon Topa, and tomorrow we act differently without the peace we just preached maybe previously. So I feel, we should take advantage. Young people, we are the one that can always be manipulated. We are the one that can always be influenced. Hey, your and your attack. Nobody shouldn't do any campaign on our feet. And we young people, because of little of nothing for that day, we get involved. And sometimes that's why I'm saying do not experience it, because the fact that maybe that day you go experience it will be the last day of your life. So let's not get ourselves involved in things that will cause harm to us or that will lead to maybe a short span of our lives.
Yeah, I just want to weigh in this important announcement to the public, uh, particularly residents of District 18. As a media institution, this is the pride of District 18. Foca TV. Foca TV remains the pride of District 18. So, in these elections, as we move, we understand that campaign has officially kicked out since August 4th, and it is incumbent upon this media platform to track with their independent voting. So in the wake of that, we want to exercise our independent voting. So we have embarked upon an exercise which is very, very vital for our democracy. And most of the time, we elect people without knowing or even listening to what they do have as a plan for
Yes,
us.
yes.
So what we have decided to do in the coming days, we are about to organize a forum or town hall engagement with all of the representative aspirants in District 18. So when normally whenever an aspirant is when you make up your decision that I will contest for this position, but once you have been certificated by the National Selections Commission, you are no longer an aspirant, you become a candidate. So represent all of the representative candidate,
Mhm.
and we are hoping that this time around, Edward Flomo, who is the incumbent who is seeking re-elections, will also honor our invitation so that he too can be able to talk about what are some of those plans he have for the people and some of those things that he would prioritize should he be re-elected by the people of the district. So Cornelia Craft will be invited.
Kana
Uh,
Kratsopa.
yeah, Cornelia Krasova will be invited. Princess Gatewood Kennedy will also be invited. All of the representative candidates will be invited at these occasions, and they will be allotted a time to be able to speak to their manifestos, to be able to speak to their plans and some of those things that they have, because some of them are saying that there is a need that District 18 have a new breed of leadership or have somebody who is competent. So from that particular forum, from that particular occasion, people can say, yes, this is the man best suited. But again, it left with the people to make their decision at the ballot box. So this is what I choose to just inform the public that we are in the process of doing that, and in the soonest possible time, we will set each one of them a formal communications inviting them to a set occasion.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. So this is a forum that young people can take advantage, especially those who are indecisive on who to vote for. Take the opportunity and attend this forum, see what the candidate are capable of doing, see what they have, see their potential, and see the willingness to lead or to serve as representative of District 13 come October 10. So young people who are indecisive of who to vote for, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. There's a need to always pray for our neighboring country. There's a need to pray for America as well, because every day as the globe revolves, every day as the globe spins, there's a lot of changes within a country like Liberia. There's a lot of changes within America. There's a lot of changes within Ghana. Things are happening. People are dying. People are coming, people are being born, people are traveling, people are doing different things. The world is just spinning every day. The globe is just spinning, and there's a lot of harmful things that are happening. So it's always good, we Liberians, to be grateful for what we have. I tell you this for sure, always be grateful for the circumstance you face, because what you experience might just be little to what someone else is experiencing. Someone else may be experiencing something worse than what you are experiencing. We have two seasons in Liberia. We have the dry season and we have the rainy season. And sometimes the rainy season, our places might get flooded, but it doesn't lead to heavy storm wherein it will take the life of 43 persons, 50 persons, or so on. But you see in other countries like India, places like China that is highly populated. You see the minute they have this massive rainfall, you see there will be a chaos, there will be a tragic incident that will take the life of maybe 4 or 5 persons. So you see, we have a need to be grateful as Liberians. We do have a need to be grateful. Some things that are happening out of the country or out of our country, Liberia, is not happening within our country, Liberia. So there's a need to be grateful and always thank God for the situation you have. And then the next thing you do is to continue to pray for others. So to our mothers, to our fathers out there, there's a need to pray for Liberia as we go through the electoral process, especially election time here, October 10. Let us continue to pray for our country. Let us pray that God will help us, that we will maintain the peace within our country, Liberia. Let me tell you, if there's no peace in Liberia, what you call election? No election will go on here. If there's no peace in Liberia, there will be no campaigning. So the main thing we should be prioritizing, the main thing we should be pushing, if you have your friend, tell your friend. If you have your children, tell your children. If you have your siblings, tell your siblings. If you have your colleague, talk to your colleague and tell them, no, we cannot do this. Let's continue to be peaceful. Let's continue to do this. And that is it. We have to protect the peace. If we don't protect the peace of Liberia, there will be no election. If we don't protect the peace, and God forbid, we are not going back to where we came from. No, 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 no. We are not going back. There are ambitions. young people in this country. There are ambitious people who want to be a doctor come 6 years from now. There are ambitious people who want to be a lawyer come 6 years from now. There are ambitious people who want to be a finance entrepreneur. There are ambitious people who want to be a or chemists. So you cannot kill the dreams of those people. There are other people who want to be leaders. There are other people who want to be president. So we have to protect the peace we have within our country, Liberia. It's not because of this one political party thing. When it's another political party thing, we have to disrupt our country. Thanks for watching. This is how we close down on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. My name is Greg Finansipa, and I'll be coming again with the Focal Women Talk today, hopefully. And we're gonna be discussing interesting issues. First, we're gonna be talking about bullying, and we're then gonna be talking about good manners today. So I want you to join me as I'll be your presenter or your host, sorry, on the Focal Women Talk. But for today, I'm your presenter. My name is Recfina Sipar, and I'm closing up with my co-presenter. His name is Say have yourself a good day and happy pre-ladies night to all of the ladies out there. Thanks for watching. I love you, and I'll be back again tomorrow. But for today, I will be back at 1 p.m. with the Focal Women Talk.
Focal TV. Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening